The New York dawn has 4 columns of mud and a hurricane of black doves that paddle in putrescent waters. The New York dawn grieves along the immense stairways, seeking amidst the groins spikenards of fine-drawn anguish. The dawn comes and no one receives it in his mouth. For there no morn or hope is possible. Occasionally, coins in furious swarms perforate and devour abandoned children. The first to come out understand in their bones that there will be no paradise, nor a moor stripped of leaves. They know they are going to the mud of figures and laws, to artless games, to fruitless sweat. The light is buried under chains and noises in impudent challenge of rootless science. Through the suburbs, sleepless people stagger, as though just delivered from a shipwreck of blood. You're listening to CICK 93.9 Smithers Community Radio, broadcasting from unceded Cassia House territory of the Gidimt'en Clan, home of the Wet'suwet'en Nation, here in Smithers, British Columbia. My name is Gavin Smith, and this is the Underword, a show that looks for the old poets in new music. And quick thanks to one of our sponsors right off the hop, to Bugwood Bean. Coffee right in the heart of town. Good stuff. We are covering today, and you were just listening to a poem by Federico Garcia Lorca. This is going to be part 1 of 2 episodes on Lorca, because there's a lot to talk about. Lorca was probably the most famous Spanish poet, I think it's safe to say, as in from Spain. And he was also a well-recognized playwright, and as we're going to talk about, also a musician. He was born on June 5th, 1898 in Fuente Vaqueros, which is a small town just west of Granada. And he initially rose to fame with his book of poetry called Romancero Gitano, which is a book of poems depicting life in his native Andalusia. He was also very close with Salvador Dali, so close, in fact, that Dali claimed he rejected Lorca's sexual advances. Lorca was gay, and he suffered from frequent depression in a difficult time to be gay, and difficult culture to be gay as well. He moved to New York in 1929 to 1930 for a brief time, but he did return to Granada, where he wrote his best-known plays between 1932 and 1936, before, tragically, he was murdered in 1936 by fascist forces at the start of the Spanish Civil War. And there are competing theories as to whether he was assassinated for his outspoken socialist views or for his sexuality, or maybe both. But his body was never found, despite there have been multiple well-funded searches, all unsuccessful. He is also the first poet we've covered on this show who is also a well-recognized musician in his own right during his time. And in fact, I have personally stood in front of his piano in his family home in Huerta de San Vicente in Granada, which was eventually converted into a museum within the public Parque Federico Garcia Lorca in Granada. And I visited it when I was probably 21, something like that, kind of mooching my way around Spain for a few months. And his piano is housed in the home right there, and it's probably the same piano that played the song that we are about to hear, which is from the album Canciones Españolas Antiguas, or Old Spanish Songs. And this album has a pretty interesting backstory, so I'll talk about it a bit before we get into the song, which is, so Lorca was fascinated with the traditional music of his home of Andalusia, particularly flamenco music, but he was concerned that music was, and the traditions around it were dying out. And so the legend goes, and it's hard to know how much of this is true or not, but anyways, legend has it that he initially learned to play guitar from Romani people who lived in caves near to where he grew up in Fuente Vaqueros. And so he had these experiences as a very young person with these people who taught him to play music. And as a young man, he and several friends traveled back to those caves to try to collect as many of the songs as they could. But a lot of the lyrics to the songs were sort of surviving in fragments. So Lorca actually wrote new lyrics for many of these songs, and he arranged them for piano, which he played, and guitar. And then a few years later, in 1931, and this part is definitely true, Lorca undertook the project of recording an album's worth of those songs, which is the album that I just mentioned that we're going to listen to. And he did it with his friend, the Spanish dancer and singer known as La Argentinita. And Lorca was playing piano. It was some of the songs were filled out with a full band as well, including the one that we're going to listen to, which is probably the most, I think, famous of the tracks from the album. It's called Anda Jaleo, and it went on to be a hit pretty deeply associated with Lorca. So this song was originally recorded for a gramophone, or played on a gramophone, I guess would be the more correct way to say that. So I think hopefully you can excuse the sound quality. But this straight from 1931, this is Federico Garcia Lorca with Anda Jaleo. Each afternoon in Granada, a child dies each afternoon. Each afternoon the water sits down to chat with its companions. The dead wear mossy wings. Winds clear and cloudy are two pheasants in flight through the towers, and the day is a wounded boy. Not a flicker of lark was left in the sky when I met you in the caverns of wine. Not the crumb of a cloud was overground when you were drowned in the river. A giant of water sprawled over the hills, the valley tumbling with lilies and dogs. Through my hand's violet shadow, your body, dead on the bank, was an archangel, cold. You were listening to Federico Garcia Lorca before that with La Argentinita, with the song Anda Jaleo, and then you were just listening to a poem by Federico Garcia Lorca, which is Gacela of the Dead Child. And Lorca's songs, including the one that you just listened to, and probably in particular the one you just listened to, were enduringly famous in Spain. So much so, actually, that after his murder, the words of that song were converted into anti-fascist lyrics that were sung during the Civil War. And that song and the others on the album have been covered many times over by many different artists. We're just going to profile one relatively recent effort at a cover of that, and that is from the album Andajaleo, released in 2010 by Josephine Foster and the Victor Herrero Band. We're actually going to play a different song just to keep things interesting. This is Los Cuatro Muleros, which is, I guess, like the 4 mule drivers, I think. Mule men, I guess. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking now. This is Los Cuatro Muleros. No one understood the perfume of the dark magnolia of your womb. No one knew that you tormented a hummingbird of love between your teeth. 1,000 Persian ponies fell asleep in the moonlit plaza of your forehead, while through 4 nights I embraced your waist, enemy of the snow. Between plaster and jasmines, your glance was a pale branch of seeds. I sought in my heart to give you the ivory letters that say always, always, always. Garden of my agony, your body elusive always, the blood of your veins in my mouth, your mouth already lightless for my death. That was Gacela of Unforeseen Love by Federico Garcia Lorca. And before that, you were listening to Josephine Foster and the Victor Herrero Band with their cover of the song, the lyrics of which were written by, or rewritten perhaps, by Lorca. That was Los Cuatro Muleros. And in addition to covers, Lorca's work has also inspired a lot of new music. And for that, I'm as I said, we've got 2 episodes of this, so there's more to come. But I'm going to have to start with, I think, probably arguably the most famous Spanish pop star today, which is Rosalía. And like Lorca, Rosalía was fascinated by Spanish folk music at a young age. And after obtaining a degree in music and studying classical flamenco, she kind of reimagined the genre with her breakout 2018 album El Mal Querer. And there are a number of articles, both academic ones and pop culture kind of articles, comparing Rosalia's work in El Mal Querer to Lorca, both because of their study and an infusion of their sort of own creativity into flamenco, but also because of the use of similar recurring themes and symbols in their words and lyrics. And we're going to listen to a Rosalia song called Que no salga la luna, capítulo 2, boda, which is, how do you say, like the moon, don't come out moon, chapter 2, wedding. And I picked this one because parallels have been drawn to between this song and Lorca's most famous play, Boda de Sangre, Blood Wedding, which is the only Lorca play. I actually got that Lorca play when I was in that house that had his piano back many years ago. It's the only one of his plays I've ever read. But in that play, the moon, or La Luna, actually appears as a character, and it's sort of like a harbinger of death. It shines light on these fleeing lovers who are sort of the main characters, and it allows them to be caught and killed. And so, Que no salga la luna, don't come out moon, chapter 2, Boda, wedding, has a lot of pretty similar lyrical references and themes to Lorca's work. So that's what we're going to go with. This is Rosalia. Enjoy.
Qué suerte la que yo tuve el día que la encontré, la señaladito a punta de navaja, prima sobre la pared, la señaladito a punta de navaja, prima sobre la pared. Como las hojas de un cuchillo brillaban los sacas y suyo cuando le di el anillo. Brillaban los sacas y brillaban los sacas y brillaban los sacas y suyo. Brillaban los sacas y brillaban los sacas que brillaban sus sacas y brillaban los sacas. Si hay alguien que aquí se oponga, que no levante la voz, que no lo escuche la novia,
que no salga la luna, que no tiene pa' qué, no tiene pa' qué, no tiene pa' qué.
con tus ojitos prima, yo me alumbraré.
Que no tiene pa' qué, no tiene pa' qué, no tiene pa' qué.
Con tus ojitos prima, yo me alumbraré. Con tus ojitos prima, yo me alumbraré. A ver, enséñame ese. ¿Cómo brilla? Madre mía, qué guapo. Diamantes así, con diamante me gusta. Qué bonita está mi novia, que se merece un trono. Corona de brillante, ya con perla lloro. Corona de brillante, ya con perla lloro. Quiero, no quiero, lo quiero, yo no quiero. Basta conmigo y hasta que se muera. Clava de piel. por su beso. Si hay alguien que aquí se oponga, que no levante la voz, que no lo escuche la novia,
que no salga la luna, que no tiene pa' qué, no tiene pa' qué, no tiene pa' qué.
con tus ojitos prima, no me alumbraré.
Que no tiene pa' qué, no tiene pa' qué, no tiene pa' qué.
Con tus ojitos prima, yo no alumbraré.
Que no tiene pa' qué, no tiene pa' qué, no tiene pa' qué.
Con tus ojitos prima, yo me alumbraré.
That was Rosalia with Que no salga la luna, capítulo 2, Boda. And Lorca's plays, which that one was drawing a parallel to, I think, and other people think, Lorca's plays have not only inspired music like that, they've often contained music, because Lorca often wrote short sort of choruses, poetic or poems, sung poems into his scripts. And we're going to close today's episode with a song that covers or reimagines one of those choruses from Lorca's plays. And the lyrics for this one were originally written in Lorca's play El Público, which was written in or released in 1930. And the lyrics were taken by the longstanding English prog sort of art rock musician guy, Robert Wyatt, and converted into his song, Canción de Julieta, or Juliet's Song. And the lyrics kind of happen over, it's a long song, so and they're in Spanish, so I'll give you them in Spanish and then do my best to give them to you sort of in English, which is, so in Spanish it's un mar de sueño, un mar de tierra blanca, y los arcos vacios por el cielo, mi cola por las mares, por las algas, mi cola por el tiempo, por mare y tiempo. Playa de los gusanos leñadores y delfín de cristal por los cerezos, oh puro amianto de final, oh ruina, oh soledad sin arco, mar de sueño. So my very rudimentary effort to translate that is a sea of dreams, a sea of white earth, and empty arches through the sky, my tail through the seas, through the seaweed, my tail through time, through sea and time, beach of wood-cutting worms and crystal dolphins through the cherry trees, O pure asbestos of the end, O ruin, O archless solitude, sea of dreams. I think that's right. It's kind of hard. I think it's like, when you try and translate poems, there's just random words in places. So like asbestos of the end, I was like, that can't be right. But I think it's right. So who knows? That's my best take at what the lyrics that you're about to listen to mean in English. We're going to close off with this song. Thanks for listening. You've been listening to The Underword on CSK 93.9 Smithers Community Radio. My name's Gavin Smith, signing off for the evening. And this is Robert Wyatt with his song Canción de Julieta from his 2007 album, Comic Opera. And I hope you enjoy, and we'll see you next time.
cielo.